What's up, y'all? I know you guys are probably wondering what the hell happened to the couches, Well, we're trying something new. And today is fitting because we have a special guest today by the name of Chavo. For those who don't know you, man, tell us something about you. Like, where you from? What's your social? What you do for work?
My social is 54321. Well, I'm from everywhere, I've been living around. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Mexican, born and raised, and I grew up in Dover, like a lot of us in this room right now.
Dover's where it's at, yo. Dover, it's nice though because obviously, if those who follow the pod, Chavo he's a Quiroz, so he's Pedro's brother. The older brother. Yes. Oldest of the siblings. Shout out.
Not the oldest though. She's the oldest. Be careful, cause she's aggressive.
she actually, I think she follows the podcast, which is cool. But again, you're also from Chow City, right?
Bro, Chow City,
born and raised, huh? And
City T, baby.
I wanted to tell you, because we were talking with Pedro the other one when he came. How was it and stuff? But he said he really, he got adjusted pretty quick.
Right.
Porque how old was he?
I was 11.
Who came first? Both of you guys all came?
No, we came months apart. He got here like 2 months before I did. I mean, around the same time, same year basically. He was he's like 3.5 years younger. So I was 11 back then. Should have been what? What's 11 minus 3, boys? Come on.
11 minus 3?
Quick.
8? Yeah, 8. So he was
second
8.
guess that, yeah.
Damn.
About.
So he's like okay.
Yeah, because I got here 6th grade. He was here, like 3rd grade or so.
Okay.
Yeah,
so he said
we didn't lose any years, thank God.
He didn't.
We came right. God. Yeah,
that's kind of fucked up though, right? When a kid comes from his own home country,
yeah,
they make him go back a grade, and then that's where it starts. Starting going back.
Yeah. I know a lot of people like 1 year, 2 years, because I think it was like if they didn't have a bilingual class they could put you in, that was it. It was a wrap.
That's messed up. Man.
Yeah.
Because apparently the countries in our countries, they're actually a level ahead of what the public school system here in the U.S. does.
Yeah.
I'm not going into the freaking education system, but I do want to get into the culture shock because you're mentioning you came here when you were 11 years old. So that's 11 years that you've been living in Mexico.
Yeah.
I didn't get no culture shock. When I was brought to this country, I was like 3 years old.
Right.
Pedro.
So you probably barely remember.
Yeah, Pedro was 8.
Yeah, he grew up there basically.
So yeah, but then he was able to adjust to it. But you're more an older kid.
Right.
How was it, man, adjusting to? I've always wondered,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like my personality since I was little, like I was very. Like, my mom says that I never look back, kind of like sort of type of way. Like I just like the fact that we were just moving, like
Really.
Like a new life.
So you
adventure.
wasn't upset that.
Yeah, like I wasn't mad.
Like
I had a couple of friends, but I'm like, all right, we're gonna go back at some point.
Oh, okay.
So it was like it was hard. Don't get me wrong, once we got here. But I wasn't like, I'm never going to see my family again. Like, I knew that, thankfully, thank God, we were able to, go back and forth. But yeah, like, that was our status, that we were able to travel back and forth. But still, like, when we came here for the first time, like, we were here for, like, 4 years before we went back the first time. So, going back to your question, the shock was crazy, obviously, living in I don't know if Mexico's considered a third world country or not.
Let's say it is our area.
Yeah, exactly. Like where we come from, like bro, puro rancho,
Yeah.
That's it. It's like you got Wi-Fi, but there's a cow right there. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, I would want to visit Mexico. How many times have you been back?
A lot. Yeah, like probably like 10 times already. Like in my whole life.
You guys are son de dinero, ¿verdad, John?
Yeah, you already know.
But you guys do have like your own. Like,
we have a running toilet.
We
have running water. Yeah.
Well, not to say that.
We got money.
But
where we come from.
You guys have You guys have what would they say? A finca, right? Like a farm, a little farm.
Yes, but just to clarify, like, cause I know a lot of Hispanics here finca, like a Colombian finca. It's like a kind of like a resort type of thing, like an Airbnb, a nice place you go to. For us, a finca is just like a farm, basically, like a working farm with cattle, donde siembran, you know.
And that so like your family though, right? Has been generational, or was that something your grandparents?
Yeah, but very recent. Like it's only my dad's dad. Like he managed to buy that property when, you know, like with the little money that he had. And then, you know, obviously he spread it out. Well, actually, no, he gave it out to my grandma who just passed away like a few months ago.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, yeah. And so now, you know, she passed. So now it's my basically uncles and my dad. But it's like basically 2 generations. Like it's not that old. It's not like it came from back then, you know.
Your uncle, what's his name? He's also like, and not for anything, but your dad's.
I feel like you're about to offend me.
No. It's not, I'm not trying to offend.
That changed in
your pops though. They call him Paoma, right?
Right.
Why they call him Paoma?
Bro, it's the most random thing. So apparently my uncle, when he was little, he couldn't really speak. So instead of saying palomitas, like, you know, like popcorn, he would say palomitas. And my dad took care of him all the time. So his friends, to like bully my dad, started calling him like Paoma. Yeah.
Got it.
Bro, like
I thought there was something crazy. Like,
no, there's not.
That's how they call him. Like, my mom would be like, tú vas a estar en la casa de Paoma.
Oh yeah, they all call us that.
I would be like, who? No, I'm gonna be with Eva's house. Like, what are you talking about?
Who's Paoma?
Yeah, Paoma.
Who's this character?
So they would always refer to your dad as Paoma.
Yeah.
Like Armando's dad, Mandy's dad. What do they call him? They call him
Pantera.
Yeah. Like, what?
And he told me that story, but that's not a story for me to tell.
Yeah, I'll have my.
But it's a whole story that is also like, you're like, what? Like, where did people come out with this?
They're crazy nicknames. And your name, your name's Salvador.
Well, that nickname actually goes with my name in Mexico.
Chavo, right?
Yeah, not El Chavo, please.
Chavo.
I knew you were gonna offend me at some point.
Yo, but you were pretty close because I didn't know how close you were with my fam because growing up, right?
We're neighbors. They would.
Yeah. My aunts would refer you as Chavito.
Yeah,
and everybody knew
I think everybody calls me that. That knows me from back there. Yeah,
and it's like what? And then you would like your fam, my fam, like we go back. So,
I'm out here old as hell, you know, like Chavito, and I'm like, hey, how you doing?
That's cool though, man. Having that, like I told Pedro, having somebody at least that's from the same area to come back, it's rare.
It's a trip, yeah.
And unless it's your own fam, but to have friendships from the home country to come here, that's pretty dope. So
see, going back to what you said, like the culture shock, like. It's just crazy how like you bring that culture, right? Because you were born over there, and then you learn this culture, and then like obviously a subculture is created, right?
Yeah.
And you see it like everywhere, like in California, Texas, all those places where there's a lot of Mexicans born here and raised here. So like typically that's the place that is like that's what it's known for. That there's Mexicans that have their own culture because they were born there, but we get to see it here too. You know, just like, I mean, you see a lot of, you know, Colombian people here in Dover. But us Mexicans too, like, you get to see that also. You know, because, like, there's a lot of, you know, people from, I guess, our hometown in Dover. Like, once you start counting them, there's a few. Yeah. There's a few heads, you know.
You can actually start linking up of who's the one that is responsible for why there's
so much Like, you could, basically, like... trace their families back to Mexico. Yeah. Like every time I sit down to talk with my dad, is that they could be like, oh, you know, el hijo de tal persona, y el tío de este, y el sobrino de este, and I'm like, but then I learn it, so I know who he's talking about.
Yeah. Like, do you know? I've known like the Tapias, the Aragons, the Quiroz, obviously, and there's the Macarenos. But who's the other one, bro? I feel like I'm missing one, but Lucero's also. Yeah. Right. So and then I'm like Lucero. I'm like, I got
Degante. Shout out to my boy Ivan Degante.
I got which one? Degante.
Yeah, Degante.
Oh, Degante. Yeah. I know that. Okay, so that's the other fan. Yeah. So, oh my god, man.
But there's a lot. Garcia, bro. That's a huge last name over there.
That's
and again,
shout out AJ Plummer.
Yeah.
We started. Shout out to all my single mothers out there. You have a great gift. Don't give up. Don't give up, yo.
Don't give up.
And let me address this porque siempre digo, you know, shout out to my single mothers and stuff. So my mom's, I would always consider just a single mother because all the fuck boys that she had around him were trash anyways. But that's why I say shout out to my single mothers because.
Right.
That's just stressing that out there because they thinking it's a joke to the single mothers. It's not. It's not, yo. I consider you queens, you know. This podcast is
Queens.
for y'all.
Queens.
We run this.
Queens.
Okay. So you trace back to the families and stuff, and you end up finding out that everybody's like in a way
connected. Yeah.
And it's pretty dope.
And
you're talking about some cultures, right?
Right.
What is a Chicano, bro? A Chicano.
I feel like the definition changes. No, I'm not. Well, to my definition and the definition I learned years ago, I'm not. But the definitions change. I feel like, and the thing is, rightfully they change because we're not. For example, me that I was born in Mexico and then kind of like finished to be raised here, I can't change the definition of that, right? Only somebody that's born here that's Mexican can really like mess around with that definition. But the definition that I learned was that it was only the children of basically a Mexican born and raised and an American born and raised, basically.
So the crossover.
Yeah, exactly. That's a Chicano. Yeah, gotcha. But you could have a Mexican from both parents born here marry a Mexican born in Mexico, and that's it. That's a Chicano. Yeah. So then the definition changes. We're just immigrants, bro.
Yeah, wet bags.
Whoa.
Bro, he's touching himself. Bro,
not again.
I never understood.
I worked so hard.
You
mic, yo.
Did you ever? No, but it wasn't. I'm too fucking loud, so I'm still gonna get it. The first time in school, I want to know what kind of stuff you get called.
Okay.
The very first time, the first offensive thing I was called, because people would piss me off, to be honest. Right. They would say, "Yo, you Mexican this, or you Mexican that, or you do cross country," and I never understood that bullshit, right? I never understood that. I'm like, yeah, I'm Mexican, so yeah, what the
Bro,
fuck?
but you know what's crazy? Like, I don't know. Maybe you'll cut this out, maybe not.
No, go ahead.
But the most messed up things that I heard were from Hispanics.
I know.
I never heard like really bad things from white people. Maybe the thought about them because your mind is free for you to think whatever you want. But like I remember that it was always a battle between the bilingual class and the monolingual class, right? Regular classes, basically. So they would be like, oh, go buy some Inglés sin barreras and stuff. Bro, that's foul. Yeah, it was, but they were like that. And like they would bully us. And we had like the loudmouths in our class that would just like scream at them in Spanish and stuff, They
wouldn't take shit.
That's one reason I love Colombians, They always stuck up for us.
Oh, do they?
Yo,
really?
Bro, like you ever seen a Colombian like take a step back and be like, no, let's really look at the situation and not pop off.
You must have met some good Colombians.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like not to talk. I'm not talking about Colombians. It's equality. Like I know as Mexicans tend to be sometimes like, you know what? Like let's really like hold on, let's pay attention to what's going on. But most Colombians are mad. They'd be like, yo, what's up? Like who's talking crap?
Okay, I'll give you that. But like. Not to offend, because I love Colombians.
Yeah, me too. I'm married to a Colombian. My kid's about to be Colombian, bro.
Like, oh yeah. That's a nice.
That's what I'm saying. It's equality.
But yeah, I know that of the bilinguals with the monolinguals.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Because it was fucked up. Even I'll admit to it. When I was part of I think we would call it regular classes. In second grade, I remember
I was bullying people.
No, none of that. But I started seeing how they would treat the bilingual class in such like if they were idiots, you know what I mean? Just because they only spoke English.
Right.
I mean Spanish, so they would keep them separate from all the other regular. Look at me saying
from us.
Oh my god, like
from us English speaking students.
And look how it turns around.
Yeah.
Because now Dover High is ran by more bilinguals than there is actual.
Yeah.
Regular monolinguals. My bad.
You're like everybody's right here. You're walking a thin line right now.
Let me tell you something though. Yeah, man. That the most not racist, but the most like judgment would be from our own Latinos, and it's pretty fucked up.
It is, but sometimes it's understandable. We have a lot more to lose.
What you mean?
What I mean, we have a lot more to lose most of the time on jobs, in the professional level. Okay. Like our window's always smaller to make it.
Gotcha.
So you gotta be on point on everything. So therefore, they not raise you, they train you to be a certain way, so you make it through that window. You know, and you know, it might sound messed up, and I get it. It is messed up in some cases, but it's also like I think it's a part of the product of what the country creates too. At the same time,
yeah,
you know, like they push you far enough. Either you pop off and you know, like go out there and break stuff, or
you become the stereotype,
or you kind of try to move around it and just you know, kind of like hide a little bit, I guess, just so you can make it. I mean, it may sound messed up, but like nobody trains you for this, you know, like
no.
You come to a new country, it's a new culture, like you got to do what you think is best, you know.
Yeah.
And now our generation's like that's the like if we do it, it is messed up because we come from better now. You know, we know more. Yeah. Exactly. We know better than that. So if I do that to my kid, like yeah, that's messed up. But you know, the older generations, it's a little I don't know. I like to say that I give them a pass because like I can't really say, you know, I have it harder now. Because I really don't.
It's more easier, right?
Exactly.
What they had to go through.
And we still have our challenges.
Oh, of course.
But it's still a little easier. You know, we speak English.
What do you think? What do you think about this country? Because I know there's mixed feelings for Latinos themselves. Some of them.
I think I'm one of them. Like, there's a lot of mixed feelings on the whole thing.
Really?
Like, I see the bad, I see the good. And both sides have like their toxic. Both sides because that's how the country's rigged, you know, to have two sides basically. So that itself just throws everything to trash because like if you rig something to have only two sides, then there's only gonna be two opinions, 2 points of view,
right.
And you either fall or whatever color you want to name it. Like you're always gonna be pushed to one side. Like you believe all this as much, like as broad as your way of thinking can be. They're always gonna push it to one side. Or to the other side.
Then what about them? There's no middle ground in between,
There's
right?
no, and if you try to be the middle ground, it's like, but you sound more this side.
Yeah, they always
it's like, no, like, yeah.
That's
like,
the problem, though. They try to label.
And I'm not saying labels are bad. Like, you know, I'm not going to drink, you know, Windex instead of freaking Gatorade, you know? Gotcha. So labels are good. But, like, the country itself, I feel like it's rigged to that. So you just got to do your best to be a good person in general.
Are you happy with living here? Like
me, yeah, of course. Aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
That's what I'm saying.
The other day I had...
don't get me wrong, I have my complaints about the country, you know? Like, I've been called spick a few times, you know? Like, and that boils my blood. But overall, do I want to go back to Mexico? Yes, but I don't know how to live over there.
Yeah. You're an outsider to them. You're an outsider.
Yeah, I'm an outsider to here, and I'm an outsider to Mexico a lot of the time. Exactly, yeah. So that's the subculture I was talking about. No eres de aquí, pero no eres de allá tampoco. And I was born over there, so they embraced me, but like I don't know how to work over there. I don't know how the system works.
I gotcha. Yeah,
you know. So it's tough.
Now you're here, and how beautiful this country could be because it is a melting pot. Now you're gonna have.
A Colombian, Mexican, American daughter.
The ultimate hybrid. The ultimate hybrid.
It's gonna be crazy.
You're gonna have
She's
a daughter.
Walk through walls.
Yo, imagine.
Bro. It's Project X, bro.
How's that feeling, yo? Because you're no quiero poner tu edad, you know. So you know, but you're still young. You're still a young man.
Thank you.
And yeah, because we're not far off. If I start calling you old, then I'm gonna be old too. You know what I mean?
And I'm getting there.
But. You know, it sometimes seems scary to think that you know where you're at now.
Right.
But I see you and you're like you embrace it. You're very happy.
Yeah.
Shout out Luz. You guys are a very good couple. To be honest, I've never ever seen it. Like I've never seen that duo come together like that until we found out you guys were dating years back. When I went to go to Pedro's, I think when he was still cutting hair at the crib, and it was like.
Yeah, my brother's dating Luz. Pedro says that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like I thought I got rid of you, Luz, but you're still here.
that was like, how did that even happen? You know?
You know, mutual friend groups.
And then you.
Yeah, and that's it. Like I met her. Like, actually, what's funny is when I was like, what was it, a senior in high school? I met her. Like you guys were freshmen, I guess.
Yeah.
And we knew each other.
That's when you put your eye on, like, okay.
Somewhat. I mean, as a guy, you know, you put your eye on a lot of people. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, we were cool then. Like, I knew she was cool. And we would talk to each other, like, no, we wouldn't talk to her. It was more like a high and by situation.
Gotcha.
But I knew she was cool. You know, that anytime I saw her, I'd be like, yo, like, what's up? And you know how she talks. She'll be like, yo.
Yeah.
So we didn't start dating until like 4 years later. I was already like out of high school. And I think we were official. You guys were just graduating high school, I think.
2013.
Yeah. And I was already, you know, I was already working, going to school, like CCM. What do they call it? Harvard on the Hill.
Harvard on the Hill. Yeah. Much better like that.
You know.
It's much better like that.
To Harvard on the Hill. And that's what we just, you know, through mutual... Well, we already knew each other. And then through mutual friends, we started hanging out more. And she's dope. So that was it.
And now, that's what, 8 years later?
Yeah. About, right? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, 8 years later.
8 years
it's
later.
It's been a bit.
And here you are. You married with her. And you guys are about to have a daughter.
A baby, a daughter.
What's the name of it?
Of her?
Her. I said
her. Violet. In Spanish, Violeta.
Yeah. How would that work on the paperwork, though?
I think we're going to go with Violet. Bro, come on. Like in school... Violeta.
You're right. She's gonna get butchered. Forget it.
Bro, and like we're gonna tell all the teachers, no, you gotta like explain the difference.
Yeah,
like, no,
so
just Violet.
Violet, and then when she's around the fam,
Violeta, yeah.
Gotcha.
And if you can say Violet properly, then Violet.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a cute name.
When my mom had my younger sister, I helped her out pick out her name. Right, she gave me that, and I'm like, well, why don't we keep it like with you, because we got my sister Angelica to your sister, and homage to your little sister.
Right.
So why not something for you? And then she goes, okay. And I'm like, call her Becky, right? That was done. Then we start hearing about Becky with the good hair, or she come here, gave me Becky, famous. And all that type of stuff. And I'm like, oh God, what did I just, my little sister's gonna go through hell.
She gonna be Becky with the good hair.
That's like, or those derogatory stuff, like, oh, come here, give me Becky.
Bro, it is what it is. People find a nickname for everything.
God, man. So now she's Becky. I call her Becca or whatever, but Becky, but still. But
that's her full name, Becky? Or...
Becky, yeah.
Really?
So, my mom was like, even when people are pissed off or hate you, they're still gonna say Becky, and it's gonna be like sweet. So,
bro, for real, that's actually a pretty good point. Yeah. Yo, Becky, come over here.
Yeah, exactly. Still saying Becky, but
and you're mad because you had to call her Becky.
Exactly.
God, fuck. I wanted to say it with hate, but I couldn't.
Just to piss her off, Beck. But it was that, like, those like nicknames and stuff, and how they stick. And Violet, what nickname would Violet actually get?
I don't know. I guess we gotta find out what her personality is.
Got it. Just like Paloma was
named
after what you're.
But maybe not that crazy, because it had really nothing to do with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the other day.
Oh yeah, how did you even come up with that? How did you guys even come up with that?
Well, she saw it somewhere and she told me about it, and I was like, and then I saw it, and then I was like, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and her sister also was kind of like.
It must be hard, because once you name a kid something, that's it.
That's it.
They're stuck with that name, like. You've ever hear of these old names, like...
Bro, my name is Salvador.
That's not bad.
That's pretty old name.
That's an old school name. Salvador?
I suppose, yeah. But, some people be like, oh, are you from El Salvador? Like, how does that make sense?
Well, because, El Salvador...
You know who you are.
Oh, snap. Yeah, no, like, what's that Mexican in Piofilo?
Oh, my God.
That's old as hell, man.
But some of those names become famous, like that boxer Teofimo. He's Honduran, I think.
Oh yeah,
bro, one of the top ranked boxers. I think he's a champion. Teofimo, bro. That's crazy. And I don't think he speaks Spanish like that. Like he's like fully raised here, I guess.
Yeah.
But Teofimo Lopez, I think that's his name.
God damn.
I don't know, bro.
Names.
Well, some of those names come from
tradition.
Yeah, like what's it called? Not language, but. Like Nahuatl and stuff.
Oh, snap! You bringing out dialects right now.
Yeah, dialects. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Did you ever get to know some dialect?
Yeah, bro. I saw some lady at the dollar store the other day speaking, like their kids speaking English, dialect, and Mexican. Like straight up.
Oh, is that
yeah.
Really?
Like talking to each other in Spanish, just with a Mexican accent and then dialect.
They say that Mexicans over there were pretty racist on the Mexicans that knew dialect, and that they were kind of frowned upon. Like, why you even speaking that type of language stuff?
Well, you got to think about it. Well, yeah, I think it's messed up because you only call it dialect just because you don't know it, because you're ignorant to it. You know, not you.
Yeah, no, I mean, people call it dialect's not the proper way of saying that.
No, I'm just saying that's what they call it because it's a small population that speaks it. Mm-hmm. So you're like, oh, that's just dialect. You know, but what if more people spoke it? Then it's a language. It would be so it's just really basically it's a point of view, I guess, in society. So that's kind of messed up, really. Like, oh, you know, they speak dialect, like you're saying. Yeah, they're ignorant to it, so there's certain like they keep them in a certain box. Yeah. You know, oh, you know, they don't really speak Spanish; they speak dialect. But you know, it's really a language. It's not just. Dialect is diminishing, I guess, it can be.
Rare people that can speak that. And, you know, it sucks because our culture is rich in native.
Bro, there's like 100 and some dialects in Mexico. Yeah. There's a lot.
Like we are origins with so many
and
natives.
We talk we still say some words in dialect. Like aguacate it's a word
I read that.
From, it means... hangs like testicle.
Yeah,
that's what it means.
Yeah, because it does look like that.
Yeah, straight up, like you see it in the tree.
You cut it open, you're like, oh shit, now I see you.
I've seen this somewhere.
It looks like a ball sack. Yeah, but the dialects and all that, right? Cool. Tradition is very important to us, right? How much of that tradition did you keep, and how much did you become Americanized, and how much did you become Colombianized?
I don't know. I was just telling my mom yesterday this, that she's like, oh, you know, you live, because, you know, I live with my wife. She's like, oh, you're going to end up all Colombian. She looks down upon it. Just kidding. But, like, we all make jokes about it, you know? And, no, I feel like I'm a chameleon in that sense, you know? Like, I don't... Like, I feel like I lost a lot of, like, what I'm supposed to be proud of in Mexico. Like, I just see it, like, I carry it because and I'm going to teach my child about it. But I'm not like, you know, you know, like, I like tacos, Mexico, you know. Like, I'm just, like, yeah, like, we got that. And that's it. And I like it and I enjoy it. And I will teach my, you know, my child about it. But... You know, I'm not gonna go in the streets, you know, in my Mexican jersey. not that I've
seen that,
but now that I look down upon it, no, it's just my personality. That's how I am. Yeah.
I mean, when I was younger, like the thing was rep your country's
jersey. Right, exactly. For every country, that's what they teach you. And it's what's ironic is that's what I was taught in Mexico. To be you know, sing the hymn like every day. Yeah. Be proud of the flag. Salute the flag. And I don't know, just my personality never really like caught on to that pride, I guess. But I'm proud of being Mexican, you know? Like, if people are like I make sure people know, I guess, that I'm Mexican. Yeah. And depending on like where I'm at, I guess.
You say you're a chameleon, so when you're with Luz and her family, you
I could blend in. Not like that. Like, I'm not gonna speak like a Colombian, but I know how to talk to them so they understand me.
Gotcha.
You know, like sometimes I use their words. But, you know, I won't go like, ¿qué parce, está en okay? You know, like,
yeah, look at you.
But I do that more like as a gag, you know? I think that's funny.
You do that to them, though?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, imagine offending them. Like, when I'm around...
like, yo, weón. Like,
yo, whoa. You just said that. You know.
That's a bad word.
You know, the most embarrassing thing for me, right, for tradition is... My mom, like, as Mexican as she can be with all her food and her cooking, it's amazing. Stuff that she makes, right? All Mexican moms, but it's fucked up when I'm with my girlfriend and I'm at her Colombian household and her pops wants to talk about like my culture. Ooh. And he's like, right, they do that in Mexico, right? Whatever, something about like nopales or whatever, cut in a different way. And I'm like,
you guys married cousins, right? Like,
no, imagine you don't know. Stop. Let's not put that there. We don't marry cousins.
No, we don't.
I hope not.
At least not second cousins.
Oh God, But
just kidding. I'm messing up your
table. I felt so stupid because I didn't know, man. And there would be other instances where he would ask me about Mexican stuff, and I'll be like, "Yo," and that exposed me to being like, you know what? I'm very Americanized. Like, I don't know ish about Mexico. And when I try to get into it, it makes me, one, miss it. Two, makes me be proud of it. But then three, it makes me feel like, damn, I'm really not them. You know what I mean? Even though I was born there.
There's nothing wrong with that.
What do I do though? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Listen to some YouTube videos about Mexico.
Me too.
One thing I like, but not because I'm saying it's okay because I know a lot of like Mexican history. One, obviously, because I went to school over there, but two, because I'm curious about it. So it's not because like, oh yeah, I'm Mexican. I know history about Mexico. You know, like sometimes I say that joking around, but I just know because I'm curious about it. Like I like to see like how countries came about.
Yeah.
But just like that, I'll research about, Puerto Rico, I'll research about Colombia. Sometimes I tell Luz, I'm like, yeah, I know more history about Colombia than you do. But just because I'm curious about it, it's not not to...
You allow yourself to open up your...
Right, to know. Like, isn't that amusing how white Puerto Ricans talk the way they do? Like, there's history behind that. It's not just because they woke up one day like, brr, like they talk like that for a reason, like colonization and other countries stepping in. Yeah. And it's not the same countries, different countries taking over at different times. So that's how like accents are created and all that, Just Spanish people, the way they talk, why they talk like that. I think they say because a king or something like that, like had a lisp, and that's what I hear all the time. I've never really looked into it, but they say because a king spoke like that, he wanted everybody to speak like that.
Oh God!
I don't know how true that is.
But
like with other countries, like I'll do research like that. Yeah, exactly.
So, in other words, you're telling me if I'm curious, just to close that with my self-doubt of really what my identity is, like get more research into your culture.
Yeah, into if it doesn't really interest you, then why do it? You're Mexican. You're Mexican, and you should be proud of being Mexican just because you were, because you're Mexican. Like your family carries that culture, and that's it. Like people that question it, they're really like they have nothing else going on with their life. Probably that's why they question it. I mean, you know who you are.
That's two right now.
That's two right there. No, but what I mean is like, and my mom told me this because I told her the same thing. The same thing you're asking me right now, that's what I told my mom. Like, listen, like, I don't, like, sometimes I'm jealous of people, like, being so, like, they're like, oh, Mexico.
They got the lingo, man.
Yeah. No, not even the lingo, though. I
just want
like,
the accent sometimes. It comes out,
right.
It comes out white.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you see that and you connect it to being proud of your country. Oh, they have the right to be proud because they have the lingo. But no, just the fact that you have Mexican blood running in your veins, like, that's it. Okay. You're Mexican. Gotcha. I do it out of curiosity. And yes, like I can speak the lingo with my fellow Mexicans. But again, I had the opportunity, thank God, to go back multiple times. So I always train my ear. You're always learning about your own like hometown. And Mexicans are hilarious, bro. And I love funny. So I'm always like looking at memes. If I don't understand a meme, I'll look into the history of that meme just to see how it came about.
You follow the page So Mexican? So That Mexican?
Yeah, I do. Bro, and I follow more. There's so many more, bro. Like las de Culiacán, bro. Oh my God, it's so funny, dude.
Follow that one. There's one where the guy is sitting down. I don't know if you guys seen this meme. There's a guy, and he's recording him. He's like, oye, cuenta tu historia. He said, no, pues yo cuando vine de México, vine acá. He's talking like all paisa, right? And then he's like, sí, yo cuando entré a trabajar era un...
¿No sabía inglés?
No, me decían lavaplatos.
Porque no sabía inglés.
No sabía inglés, y ahora que sé inglés, ahora sí, ahora qué eres. He's like, ahora soy dishwasher.
Yeah, but it's true.
I started dying because the man was saying it so serious and straight to the...
That's facts, though. That's facts,
But you say Mexican runs into your thing. I see you. It really does. The Mexican runs into your veins.
But, bro,
when you speak Spanish... He's straight up like, yeah, this guy's definitely.
Well, that's one thing also that I tried very hard. Facts. But also, like, I have the benefit that I lived there 11 years, so I picked a lot of it up. But again, if I didn't talk like that, the reason I would talk about, like, I guess I understand what you're saying, because maybe like I probably try harder, but I don't think it's because I think myself of like a Mexican, so I should sound more Mexican. No. I have a thing where when people don't pronounce things right, like, bro, it annoys me. So when it comes to, like, English, right? Right now you don't really hear the accent maybe, but, like, it slips out. But when I started learning English, I'm like, if I'm not gonna learn the accent, then why learn English at all?
Got you. And you picked up English pretty well.
Yeah, it took me like a year but obviously like I'm always learning new things, new words, and I try to use them in my vocab all the time. But like me and Luz, like we're always messing around. Whenever we hear, that long E, like when we're like, I did this, like that slips out. Oh man, it's a rap. She'll be like, oh, you did this? Okay, like that's cool that you did this.
Yeah. Well, Chavo, you gotta share some of that, man, because I've heard you sing before, and we need some of that, man.
Oh man, I'm blessed with that.
Come on, bro.
I don't know.
Just one time, just a session with us. Run that. Can we do that, Milo? Producers, can we?
It just depends on Chavo.
Share a little bit part of your culture.
All right, I got you.
Got it,
we'll
bro.
do that.
Chavo, thank you for the pod. We're gonna do sessions with Chavo, guys. Please stay tuned. And God bless all y'all who stayed all the way to...
Where's my stimulus, by the way?